What happens when you ignore a narcissist? What if standing up for yourself meant walking into the storm? Would the narcissist retreat quietly, or would they unleash chaos to reclaim control? Today we delve into the shadowy depths of human behavior to expose the raw truth behind narcissists, their relentless hunger for power, their cunning manipulation, and their desperate need to dominate every interaction. Beneath their polished charm lies a world of calculated moves and emotional landmines. From crafting the perfect victim act to waging psychological warfare, they'll stop at nothing to protect their fragile egos. But you're not powerless. This video reveals the strategies narcissists don't want you to know, helping you stand firm, protect your boundaries, and reclaim your peace of mind. Get ready to see through the facade, because understanding their game is the first step to winning yours. Step 1. They will pretend to ignore you. For a narcissist, control is everything. Their inflated ego may seem unshakable, but beneath the surface lies a fragile core terrified of vulnerability, rejection, and loss of power. Their arrogance and pride are nothing more than walls, carefully constructed to mask deep-seated fears and insecurities. When you choose to ignore a narcissist, don't expect fireworks right away. Instead, they may seem to retreat into silence. But don't mistake this quiet for surrender. In reality, they're calculating, watching your every move, studying your emotions, and waiting for the perfect moment to strike. This isn't passivity, it's a strategy to unsettle you. Their goal: to make you doubt yourself. They want you to question your strength, to feel uncomfortable in the silence, and ultimately to break first. They're betting on your vulnerability, convinced that you'll cave in returning to apologize, explain, or seek reconciliation. In their distorted view, your defiance is just a temporary lapse in judgment, a passing moment that can't erase the admiration they believe you secretly harbor for them. But don't be fooled into thinking they're truly ignoring you. A narcissist is never idle. Behind the scenes, they're combing through your social media, analyzing every post and every comment. They're hunting for any sign of weakness, crafting a plan to reassert control and pull you back into their orbit. To a narcissist, you're not just another person, you're their lifeline. They crave the energy and validation they siphon from you and can't tolerate the emptiness of isolation. When silence doesn't yield results, they'll escalate their tactics, launching a new campaign to reel you back in. So what's next in their playbook? Stay tuned, because the games are just getting started. Step 2. The Repentant Sinner Act. If you've ever been entangled with a narcissist, you've likely seen their drama unfold in 4 predictable acts: idealization, devaluation, discard, and hoovering. When they sense their grip on you slipping, they'll swiftly pivot to the hovering stage, a masterful performance designed to pull you back in with a calculated charm offensive. Suddenly, the narcissist transforms into everything you ever wanted. They'll conjure up the magic of your early days together, words as sweet as honey, eyes full of tenderness, and romantic gestures so thoughtful they'll make your heart ache. They'll remind you of the good times, the moments that once made you believe they were your soulmate. Nostalgia becomes their most powerful weapon, stirring regret and longing, making you question if walking away was a mistake. They'll spin vivid fantasies of a brighter future, where past wounds are healed and their mistakes are left behind. You might even convince yourself that the cruel, manipulative person you saw before was just an anomaly, a fleeting shadow of who they really are. Or perhaps they'll pivot to another angle, suddenly becoming the picture-perfect parent. Imagine them showing up unannounced at 1 a.m., tearfully declaring how much they miss their child, when just weeks earlier, they ignored every parental responsibility. The contrast is striking, deliberate, and aimed directly at your heartstrings. But their toolkit doesn't stop there. They'll cry, beg, plead, and even threaten self-harm, all carefully orchestrated to exploit your empathy. They'll weave tragic tales designed to shatter your defenses: "I'll change, I swear," or "I can't go on without you." Every word, every tear, is a calculated move to break through your resolve. Here's the hard truth: none of it is genuine. Behind the mask of sorrow and sweet promises lies the same narcissist driven not by love, but by a desperate need for control. Their hovering isn't about reconciliation, it's about pulling you back into their toxic web, feeding their ego, and keeping you under their influence. Stay vigilant. Their performance may tug at your heart, but remember, the purpose of this act is to regain power, not to heal or grow. Protect yourself and don't let their drama rewrite the truth. Step 3. When they turn to attacks. When a narcissist feels their grip on you slipping, their response can turn from manipulative charm to outright hostility. Beneath their confident facade is a fragile, hypersensitive ego that cannot tolerate rejection, let alone abandonment. Once they realize they can no longer control you, their carefully constructed mask of victimhood or heroism drops, revealing their most destructive tendencies. This is when they shift gears and launch a full-scale attack, aimed at destabilizing you emotionally, mentally, and even socially. The narcissist's first move is often to weaponize your past. They will dig through your history, searching for anything, no matter how trivial, that can be used against you. A missed tax filing, a forgotten obligation, or an old mistake becomes ammunition in their campaign to discredit you. They might even take it a step further, filing anonymous complaints or creating legal trouble under the guise of seeking justice. Their real goal, however, isn't about truth or fairness. It's about throwing you off balance, making you feel cornered and helpless, and forcing you into a position where you might turn to them for assistance. But the attacks don't stop at mere accusations. Narcissists are notorious for sabotaging your life in direct and indirect ways. They might damage your property, like slashing your car tires or disrupting your utilities, or spread vicious rumors designed to tarnish your reputation among friends, family, and colleagues. These acts of sabotage are calculated to exploit your vulnerability during the fragile post-relationship period. They aim to create chaos, erode your support system, and make you feel like you can't rebuild your life without them. Adding to this psychological warfare are their staged coincidences. A narcissist might suddenly bump into you at your favorite coffee shop, gym, or grocery store. These encounters are rarely accidental. They are meticulously planned moments where they pretend to care, acting friendly and concerned, all in an effort to rekindle doubt in your mind. By presenting themselves as calm, apologetic, or even remorseful, they hope to lure you back into their toxic orbit. Why do they do this? At their core, narcissists are driven by a desperate need for control and validation. Losing you means losing their primary source of emotional fuel, the attention, admiration, and energy they feed on. Their attacks are less about hatred and more about fear. Fear of irrelevance, fear of being exposed, and fear of facing their own vulnerabilities. It's crucial to recognize their tactics for what they are: an attempt to regain power, not an effort at reconciliation. Their hostility, no matter how loud or subtle, is a reflection of their inner turmoil and inability to accept that you've chosen to break free. To protect yourself, the best strategy is to cut off all contact and maintain firm boundaries. Block their numbers, remove them from your social media, and avoid shared spaces where you might encounter them. Document any harassment or attempts to sabotage you, as this evidence can be vital if their behavior escalates. Most importantly, focus on rebuilding your life, leaning on your support network, and remembering why you chose to leave. A narcissist's attacks may feel overwhelming, but they're also a sign of your strength and independence. If you weren't capable of thriving without them, they wouldn't fight so hard to pull you back. Their chaos is not your burden to bear. Protect your peace, stay steadfast in your decision, and move forward with confidence. Freedom from their influence is not just a possibility, it's your greatest victory. Step 4. They rewrite reality to regain control. When your silence becomes too loud for the narcissist to bear, when they are suffocating from the lack of attention, reeling from rejection, and unable to repair their wounded ego, they will resort to their final strategy: rewriting reality. This is their desperate attempt to regain a sense of control, not over you, but over the narrative that shapes how others perceive them. Suddenly, the narcissist who once dominated and manipulated you now paints themselves as the tragic victim. To anyone who will listen, they spin stories of heartbreak and sacrifice, claiming they were the ones forced to make the painful decision to walk away. They'll say they ended the relationship, cut ties, or chose to move on anything to shift the blame and protect their fragile sense of superiority. This tactic serves a dual purpose. First, it allows the narcissist to avoid facing the truth of their own failure and rejection. Admitting they lost control of you would mean confronting their deep insecurity, something they are utterly incapable of doing. Second, it helps them garner sympathy from others, pulling new people into their web of manipulation while tarnishing your reputation in the process. But don't be fooled. This is yet another calculated move designed to provoke a reaction from you. They want you to feel frustrated, to defend yourself, or to confront them. Any form of engagement, no matter how justified, feeds their ego and drags you back into their toxic cycle. Your best response: absolute silence. Let them rewrite their story for an audience that doesn't include you. Their words, no matter how false or exaggerated, cannot change the truth of your experience. Focus instead on living well, building a life defined by peace, growth, and authenticity. In doing so, you not only deny them the satisfaction of a reaction, but also reinforce your freedom from their influence. This phase, though frustrating, is a testament to your strength. Your silence forces them to seek validation elsewhere, detoxing them from the attention they crave. Over time, their narrative will crumble under the weight of its own contradictions, while your life continues to flourish without their shadow looming over it. Remember, the most powerful thing you can do in the face of their false narratives is to stay grounded in your truth. You've already taken the bold step of walking away. Now, let your actions and your happiness speak louder than their words ever could. Step 5. They smear your reputation to regain power. When a narcissist loses control over you, their next move is to manipulate how others perceive you. This is a calculated and malicious tactic designed to isolate you, tarnish your reputation, and damage your relationships, leaving you more vulnerable than ever. For the narcissist, this is not just about revenge, it's about maintaining their dominance even in your absence. Their campaign begins with distorting the truth. The smallest of your mistakes will be inflated into monumental flaws, woven into a narrative where you're cast as the villain and they, the hero or martyr. They'll craft their story with precision, whispering half-truths and outright fabrications into the ears of anyone willing to listen. These rumors spread quickly, creating a web of lies so vast it feels impossible to untangle. Their goal is simple: to rewrite the story in their favor, making it nearly impossible for you to control your own narrative. Narcissists are masters at playing the victim. They'll recount exaggerated tales of the pain you caused them, sharing fabricated sob stories to elicit sympathy and support. Those unaware of the truth may unwittingly take their side, becoming allies in the smear campaign. To further isolate you, they'll target those closest to you: family, friends, co-workers, individuals who might otherwise serve as your emotional anchor. By poisoning these relationships, they leave you feeling unsupported and alone. But they don't stop at your personal relationships. They'll go after your credibility, spreading subtle or outright criticisms about your character, abilities, or decisions. Whether through backhanded comments or outright insults, they aim to erode others' trust in you. Over time, this steady drip of negativity can create doubts in people's minds, even those who once knew you well. For the narcissist, this is a double win. You're both isolated and left grappling with the frustration of being misrepresented. It's easy to feel overwhelmed in the face of such a coordinated attack, but it's essential to remember that their behavior reflects their own insecurity and toxicity, not your worth. The distorted image they paint of you is a projection of their inner turmoil, not a reflection of who you truly are. You don't have to engage in their game. Resist the urge to counter every rumor or defend yourself against every accusation. Instead, focus on what you can control: your actions, your relationships, and your peace of mind. Those who truly care about you will see through the lies and recognize your genuine character. Rebuild your support system with trusted individuals who know your true nature. Seek out those who have witnessed the reality of your experiences and who won't be swayed by the narcissist's manipulations. Surrounding yourself with positive, supportive people will help restore your confidence and perspective. The narcissist smear campaign may be painful, but it doesn't define you. Every step you take toward rebuilding your life and distancing yourself from their toxicity is a victory. You are stronger than their words, more resilient than their manipulations, and far more valuable than the distorted image they try to impose on you. Focus on your growth, your happiness, and your freedom. Let their lies crumble under the weight of your truth, and trust that in time those who matter will see through their facade. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone. Your existence, strength, and authenticity are proof enough. Never forget you are the author of your story. The narcissist may try to rewrite a chapter, but they cannot dictate your narrative. Stand tall, own your truth, and continue moving forward with pride. You are worthy of respect, love, and the peace that comes from living authentically. Let your light shine brighter than their shadows ever could. Step 6. They seek a new source of supply. When all their manipulative tactics fail, when their charm, rage, and smear campaigns no longer have power over you, a narcissist will be forced to shift their focus. Their survival depends on what psychologists call narcissistic supply, the validation and attention they feed on to maintain their fragile ego. Without it, their world begins to crumble. Like a predator in search of its next meal, they'll inevitably set their sights on a new target, someone they can manipulate and control. This transition isn't easy for them. They don't want to let go of you, their original supply. Before moving on, they'll test you repeatedly, using every tool in their arsenal to draw you back in. These tests might range from subtle attempts to reestablish contact to escalating manipulative behavior designed to provoke a reaction. Each test is a final grasp at control, a way to see if there's even the faintest chance of pulling you back into their web. The persistence of these tests often depends on the personality and intensity of the narcissist you're dealing with. Some are relentless, while others move on more quickly once they sense defeat. If you've endured their trials and held firm, you've reached a critical turning point. Their decision to shift focus away from you is not just their failure, it's your victory. The narcissist's departure marks your liberation, a testament to your resilience and strength in refusing to be their pawn. You've broken free from the cycle of manipulation, and that freedom is priceless. But be cautious, a narcissist rarely lets go completely. They may return when you least expect it, especially if they sense an opportunity to reclaim what they believe is theirs. A chance encounter, a message left unanswered, or a nostalgic moment shared on social media could all be openings they exploit. Their persistence can be relentless if you leave even the slightest crack in the door. To truly free yourself, you must seal off all pathways that connect you to them. Block their number, delete their social media profiles, and remove any shared connections that might allow them to keep tabs on you. Closing these doors is not just a physical act. It's a declaration of your commitment to protecting your peace and prioritizing your well-being. This step is crucial because you deserve more than someone who sees you as a resource to exploit. You are worthy of relationships built on mutual respect, care, and authenticity, free from manipulation and control. By severing ties completely, you reclaim your life and open the door to healthier, more fulfilling connections. The narcissist's need for supply may drive them toward a new target, but that is no longer your concern. Their patterns will continue, but you are no longer bound by them. Each day without their influence is a step closer to the life you deserve, one filled with peace, joy, and self-respect. Stand firm, keep the door closed, and protect your freedom. You've already proven your strength by making it this far. Let that strength guide you toward a brighter, healthier future. Step 7. They attempt to rewrite history. Even after shifting their focus to a new source of supply, a narcissist often can't resist the urge to revisit the past and reshape it to serve their ego. Their insatiable need for control drives them to rewrite the story of your relationship not for reconciliation or growth, but to maintain dominance over how others perceive them, and to protect their carefully constructed image. In their version of events, they're the misunderstood victim or the selfless hero, while you are cast as the unreasonable antagonist who drove them to despair. They'll weave tales of how they did everything to save the relationship, fabricating or distorting details to justify their actions and elicit sympathy from others. This rewriting isn't limited to private conversations. The narcissist may reach out to you directly, pretending to seek closure or to offer their perspective. But these interactions are rarely genuine. Instead, they're subtle attempts to gaslight you, making you question your own memory and doubt your experiences. By manipulating the narrative, they aim to sow confusion and regain psychological influence, even after the relationship has ended. Their efforts often extend beyond you, spreading their version of events to mutual friends, colleagues, or family members. With charm and selective storytelling, they can convince others to see them in a favorable light, further isolating you and undermining your credibility. This can be deeply frustrating and disheartening, but it's important to remember that their need to rewrite history stems from their inability to face the truth about themselves or accept responsibility for their actions. The best way to protect yourself is to stay grounded in your reality. You know the truth, and you don't need to defend it to anyone who chooses to believe their distortions. Avoid engaging with their attempts to reframe the past. It only fuels their desire for control. Instead, focus on surrounding yourself with trusted individuals who support you and understand your experiences. By prioritizing your healing and looking forward, you rob the narcissist of the power to influence your life. Their attempts to rewrite history are not a reflection of you, but of their own fear and insecurity. Let their stories fade into irrelevance as you move forward with clarity, strength, and the freedom to write your own future, a story rooted in truth, growth, and authenticity. Breaking free from a narcissist is one of the most courageous and transformative journeys you can take. It's not just about escaping their manipulation. It's about rediscovering your worth, reclaiming your voice, and rebuilding your life on your terms. Every tactic they use, whether it's love bombing, gaslighting, smearing your reputation, or rewriting history, is designed to keep you trapped in their web. But the moment you choose yourself over their games, you begin a journey toward true liberation. Remember, their attempts to control you say nothing about your value and everything about their own insecurity. You are not defined by their narratives, their criticisms, or their attempts to tear you down. You are defined by your strength to walk away, your resilience to rebuild, and your courage to thrive, despite their efforts to hold you back. As you move forward, focus on healing, growth, and the relationships that bring you genuine joy and peace. Let your actions, not their words, be the loudest testament to your power. The best revenge against a narcissist is not anger or confrontation. It's living a life filled with authenticity, confidence, and happiness. So close the door firmly, hold your head high, and step boldly into the freedom you deserve. This is your time to shine, to grow, and to write a new chapter, one that's entirely yours. Thank you for watching, and if this video has resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more empowering content. Your journey isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving. You've got this.